phase shift. So if you disrupt into pit, Puck just has to sit there, and if he doesn't have a Yules, he's going to die. But could go either way still. But I feel like the Storm draft is far more balanced, and they just have much easier win conditions.
Yeah.
You need a great game from Raven and Armel now to win.
Yeah, they have the save from Axe, and then I got to reset the fight, so I'm going to definitely say VJG Storm as well.
There's no doubt about it. I think VJG Storm have the better draft. TNC have ball really hard.
All right. Let's find out if TNC can snowball indeed, and if the right TNC shows up. The TNC from the group stage, will they be present against their match versus VJG Storm? Let's find out with Trent and Zayori.
Thank you very much, Sheber. An exciting game indeed. TNC getting rocked by Liquid before, now looking for redemption against VJG Storm. Trent, how you feeling about the draft?
It's dicey, man. The Raven Terrorblade is a thing of beauty, a thing of wonder.
It was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
Is it still, is the question.
That's the real question. Of course, the hero taking some heavy nerfs from the old frog there. Well-deserved, frankly. I mean, he was in a lot of games. I was getting a little tired of it. The Death Prophet, you know, Dragon Knight, maybe come up soon. But looks like they still have a little bit of faith here. It is, I would say, his most signature hero. So they're looking to get the game going. But I mean, some of these other heroes, you know, speaking of nerfed and taken away, Puck. Like, another hero that has kind of fallen off the map, but I can see why they're looking for it. Of course, the heavy damage from the Terrorblade is going to make up for the lack of a little bit of damage from the Puck. You need that nice little double bubble strat with like the axe control and the Puck control. But it's a Puck. They're relatively squishy on the side of VJG Storm, so we'll see how it goes.
Yep, and some early rotations here. Both teams grouped up. TNC did burn a smoke to get out of the base a little bit more quickly. VJG Storm just holding their high ground around the Ancients, maybe thinking about making an early invasion. They do have a very good level 1 team here on VJG Storm, especially alongside that Mirana Arrow.
Yeah, it seems everyone's just kind of camping their own side here. The real winner in all of this will be Sam H. He's the only one bottom. Might wind up with a couple runes to himself, depending on how this goes up here.
Yep. But there is a lot of setup for VJG Storm, which is what I like. You know, they built around this Mirana well. You've got that classic combo with the Mirana Shadow Demon. You've also got the Shadow Demon Luna. And then you've got the Naga Mirana, which is also quite good in Snare and even Song of the Siren to set up for those easy arrows. And Pit of Malice on top of that. So there is a lot of natural synergy across these heroes from the Radiant. We'll hold that thought as we could see some initiation. SVG walks in a little bit too deep, gets stunned up, and this is likely to be our first blood as the Shadow Demon gets isolated on the high ground. A ward comes. And we'll see who grabs this bounty rune. VJG Storm will hang around, and it looks like they're not able to snag it. Cuckoo picked it up before Snake King could, and now Snake King's going to get left behind. Too much damage comes his way. 2 kills for TNC, plus they get the bounty to boot.
And both down bottom from Sam H. He steals it away from Rezo. So
that's a pretty good start for TNC. Pretty abysmal start for VJG Storm.
Yeah, things looking very good, but in terms of the lanes, nothing too shocking. Maybe the only surprising thing you could say is the fact that Axe is down here all by himself. No assistance quite yet, but once you know, an additional hero is there to help with the Luna, you might see a rotation from either the Bane or the Sand King here as, well, irritating Dota. MSS is going to grab the next wave, and he's going to be helping Snake King get a good start up top. And this is where you just feel really wasted having 3 heroes if someone's just going to pull the wave like this. And this isn't supposed to happen against a Bane as well. You know, this is one of the key heroes for preventing this sort of activity. Well, they will go in on
gets
Snake
away
King,
with it. Yeah, now initiation onto the Underlord. First stun connects. I don't think they'll be able to find the kill. Pretty beefy off-laner, but MSS does get away with this creep pull and makes it back behind the tower. So this top lane off to a pretty good start for VJG Storm. Checking in on the mid, Puck versus Mirana. What do we expect here, Trent?
Yeah, well, in terms of like trading blows here in the top lane, also happening here in the mid. So yeah, just constant. You know, Puck is still Puck. Can still do very well in these matchups. Has extremely irritating right-click damage. You can dodge it with the phase shift. There's nothing really punishing from the Mirana here, so expecting Armel to have a pretty good time.
Yeah, there is a pretty big just right-click disparity. Puck at 74 right now, Mirana only at 56. Definitely would expect the Fairy Dragon to have a pretty good time. Sam H. Oh my god.
Gotta respect. Even level 1.
Shadow Poison. At exponential growth, baby. That's what happens.
6 of them, 766 damage. You know, how is that balanced? Kind of deal there. But, you know, don't get hit by 6 Shadow Poisons is generally a pretty good answer to that.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb there. As you see, MSS deep in enemy territory here, just playing with the creeps. And doesn't really seem like anything is going to come through to punish this. He'll just TP out, doing a great job messing up this lane equilibrium.
Everything relatively relaxed for now. Of course, we're going to be looking for RML to be the one to really kick off this game here. I think across the entire board, he's the one who's going to have to be the most active, get that level 6, maybe hope to punish some dives onto his Terrorblade, because this is why Puck and TV work so well together, is because when you're up against Terrorblade, you know you want to pressure him. You can't just let him do his thing, be fully free in the lane like Raven is right now. And as this continues, you have this burden on VJJ Storm say, yo, we got to rotate. We got to try and kill this TV. And when you dive from under his tower, that is where Puck excels better than any other mid hero. True. Punishing with that Dream Coil, and suddenly you lose 3 heroes and don't even get the TV.
Now, one of the big disparities, it seems, in this early laning phase is just the offlaner. Underlord not getting a huge amount of last hits, but able to have some presence here as he drops that Firestorm onto this huge pull into the jungle. Axe was getting zoned out. He's starting to get some presence in that lane down bottom, but I worry about this Axe having a slow start, especially after conceding that first death. This is a hero that really plays off of momentum, Trent. Yeah,
you're unlikely to see anything like the S4 Axe in the last game in terms of getting that early Vanguard first. Don't really see that coming for Sam H right away. And that's just not Sam H's playstyle anyway. He's certainly the kind of guy that wants to be a little bit more involved, not necessarily as high on the net worth. So it shouldn't be too much of a surprise for TNC. Sure, they were kind of expecting it.
Some rotations coming mid now. Cuckoo on the Bane, sets it up onto the Mirana. But RML very low on mana, so no real kill opportunity, but a turn, the arrow the other way, it connects on Bane, and VJJ Storm strike right back as MSS makes the rotation, and that will square it up 2-2. Good little turnaround there.
Yeah, pretty much evens us all up here, including the net worth. We move into our first nighttime. Could maybe find some rotations here between Tims and MSS as they collide in the river. Cuckoo will be here. Oh, maybe he will be here in time, actually.
Yeah, stun connects on MSS, and now the Nightmare comes. Raven makes the rotation. It's a 3-on-1, and this poor Naga Siren will be isolated. No teammates inbound, and she falls to the wrath of the Terrorblade. Raven getting credit for that one.
I've been talking about the TV farm, but obviously Rezo's farm is going quite fine down here as well.
Yeah.
A-OK, completely guarded here. No real concerns. The Shadow Demon, just an excellent pick up against that Axe, looking for the save, since, well, Snaking could use a bit of a save here. It looks like with the meta TP coming in.
Yeah, TP rotation now from SVG, but gets put inside of the Nightmare, and Snake King, out of options, will get brought down. Raven gets another one. An early killing spree secured for this Terrorblade. Great use of the lingering duration on that Metamorphosis as now Tims gets repelled.
Soul Catcher 3 stacks.
You get the 4th. It's going to be close. Nice sidestep. And Sand King will be fine.
Just have to worry, man. Those things get adding up on you. Oh, meanwhile, in the mid lane, yeah, it looks like RML was also dropping a bit low as he's just getting in towards his bottle.
Yeah, the mid lane's been pretty even. Yawar, as we mentioned, had a bit of a disadvantage just based on the matchup, but he's been holding his own. Only 2 last hits behind the puck. Behind on a couple of denies, but that kill certainly tipping the scales to put it in his favor.
Yeah, you got a couple tools in your arsenal here, just like arrowing like the catapult, you'll see right there, those kind of plays. Just easily keeping your most important CS parts up. It is really just the denies that you don't have a lot of options over with the higher damage there on the puck.
But RML is also level 6, though. Dream Coil's out, and that is the time with the Fairy Dragon. Now just brings a little bit more to the field. 6 minutes, Sam H. Just working around in the jungle here. Still only level 4 on the Axe. Really not a lot of farm to his name. But same token, keeping up with that Underlord. Both offlaners really not having an easy time this game.
And SVG's coming in close here. I don't know. This might be a chance at a kill here, but Kuku's also there to protect. Very tense down here. With the Eclipse, you kind of feel like they want to try something.
Yeah. Usually like to wait to that level 7 on Luna for the extra damage, but kill threat is certainly there.
Meanwhile, up top, Raven, protected by Tims. Temps all over the map here, including the rotation from Cuckoo up there, so that'll leave MH all alone.
Yeah.
And that'll punish on the
Tims. Maybe who gets caught if they go 1-for-1. MSS falls first, but Snake King does clean up the Sand King. Cuckoo finding credit for that, so this time not going the way of the Terrorblade.
Yeah, very relaxed so far. We don't really have any sort of a rotation yet from RML once again as he continues to try and accelerate himself in the mid lane. And as much as we talk about the pressure onto the TB, likewise, wouldn't mind a little bit of pressure onto Rezo.
Yeah. How do you feel tempo-wise about this game? Looking at the TNC lineup, I think they might be the ones that crank things up into this early mid-game once we move out of the laning phase. Just the nature of this VJJ Storm draft makes me think they're a little more comfortable with this slightly more passive game. Though, as I say that, we will have initiation onto Tim's. Arrow does connect after the Moonlight Shadow catches him off guard. Another one on the scoreboard for VJG.
Yeah, I think they're not only just kind of fine with the passive draft, but honestly, they can go out and get kills themselves very comfortably with the heroes they have. The Shadow Demon, the Naga, and the Mirana very willing to roam around, whereas you're going to have Snake King and Rezo kind of being the more like lane-focused, pushing out, getting a lot of gold on themselves, trying to build some auras onto this Underlord and make sure they're ready for those team fights where TNC are trying to win something right next to the objective, trying to allow Raven to go in with that meta and destroy an actual tower here. So far, Snake King's really been holding his own. Yes, he went down up top twice now at this point, but that tower is very healthy for 8 minutes against the PB, with 2 supports for most of it.
He's also over the hard part, right? I feel like Underlord really level 5, that third point in Firestorm is when you can clear waves very easily. You actually have a little bit of a kill threat if they dive you. Before that, the Firestorm feels a little underwhelming, kind of just tickles. And yeah, actually pulling ahead of the Axe now in terms of overall net worth. So that is one thing tipping the scales, but still very even. 8.5 minutes in, less than a 1K net worth lead as we see a smoke rotation in the enemy jungle. They might bump into MSS, but it looks like paths won't quite cross, even though that smoke from Cuckoo did get broken.
Yeah, interesting that they're smoking down here. They've committed so much of their vision to the northern half of the map, and they haven't brought any wards with them either. So like, you come and make the smoke rotation, you can't even place anything. And just kind of ends up being a little bit wasted there, hoping they were going to find Rezo. Meanwhile, Rezo is farming himself a nice stack.
Nice triple stack here at the hard camp, something TNC would absolutely like to intercept, and they see it. They'll be on their way in. 3 heroes now moving into the fray. But there are reinforcements for VJG Storm as well. The battle for the stack.
Axe and Sand King very happy with multiple creeps, and now it's Armel who's here. They need to run, but there's no coil available.
Coming up in about 20 seconds, though. There's the banish onto Cuckoo. Luna has the ultimate, finds the kill there. Arrow actually connects on the Axe from downtown, and that will secure a kill on Sam H. It's a quick 2-0 as the rest of TNC have to head back to defensive territory.
Yeah, lacking the coil there, just no real threat when Armel rotates through.
Rezo TPing right there to the shrine. They connect onto Tims with the ensnare, and they make it 3. A double secured for Yawar.
Understandable from TNC. They see them going for the stack. They really want to contest it, but it does not work out well at all. Yeah. And at the very least, they are still drawing all that attention away from Raven. Certainly can't be ignored. He's on his way towards that Dragonlance. He's still doing fine. He's right at the top of the net worth chart there with Luna.
Cuckoo just takes a Lucent Beam. Thought they might commit for that, but MSS couldn't quite get in range for that ensnare.
That's a lot of runes, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see that jump on the net worth for the whole team.
So they got 3 out of the 4 there.
I will say the one thing going well for TNC, though, is Raven. This Terrorblade is farming very nicely. He was beating the Luna until that failed skirmish down bottom, but he's getting space in the jungle now. He's also over that hump. You know, Terrorblade is very squishy in those first couple levels, now almost level 9, getting up to that big armor, working on a Dragonlance, getting those core stats items. TNC still have a lot of options here.
Sure, but they also really want to get stuff done with the Dream Coil.
So this is it, the smoke with Armel. See if this coil makes something happen. Oh, Cuckoo smoke gets broken. Great positioning from MSS, just anticipating this movement perhaps. Career flying overhead.
Again, they're coming down here with no vision. I feel like these are such ambitious plays here, but they have the
Dream Coil does connect on Rezo. He'll go ahead and snap the tether straight away. Just heads back towards his shrine. TNC have no way to follow up. Now on the other side, they do catch SVG. It looks like it'll just be a quick pick on the Shadow Demon. It is something for TNC, but they rotate 4 heroes, including the Terrorblade and the Puck. Definitely hoping for more than just a position 5.
Yeah, Moonlight Shadow coming in big there. Going to pick up that detection on the side of TNC.
Dyer's middle tower.
And they're going to try and use the meta here, though. So what's their defense? The Underlord will make his rotation.
Oh, Arrow. It does connect onto Armel. This Puck could be in some trouble. Able to jaunt away defensively as now Snake King has moved into the lane. And just like that, TNC push gets quelled. The tower still pretty much topped off.
Yeah, they're going to be sent back, thrown outside the map. Very disappointed.
And all the while, Rezo's just free farming in the top lane, completely uncontested.
Yeah, not only are they heading into an area where they have no vision, there's so much vision down here from the Radiant side. Like, they see all of these plays coming through, they're watching people TP to the tower, and they're able to just kind of judge what the plan is from TNC. So, that means Rezo's able to dodge, he goes top, and he's starting to force down this tower here with the catapult there. Yes, they're able to glyph while the Luna's there. Now she leaves, meaning no threat to herself, and the tower still takes so much damage from that catapult.
Yeah, and now the rotation on the backside. Tims will connect onto the Luna. Now Nightmare to follow up. SVG trying to spam out some poison, but Armel's there with a Dream Coil. Rezo is in a lot of trouble, and he falls. And they get a counter kill. MSS very low on mana as SVG gets stunned by the Burrow Strike. It's a quick 2 for TNC. Now Snake King making his way in. Bane clipped by the arrow. Tims goes down first. Armel trying to defend and throw most, but it will not work. Cuckoo falls, and now Armel has to make the retreat, jaunt to the low ground. No way to pursue. 2 for 2. But advantage for TNC is they do get that kill on the high prize Luna.
Yep, sure. It felt like SVG maybe getting a little bit too close to the Luna there, just not counting on the silence from the puck, of course, meant he couldn't disrupt to go for a save play, maybe buy some time for someone else to come and assist, but in the end, yeah, it's nice stuff there from TNC. And we're working on that Blink Dagger next for Armel post Veil, and you can see Samh clearing up some creeps there to try and get himself in towards the old Blink Dagger. He has the treads on Axe, not the most common item, but
pretty rare indeed.
Value purchase there with all the stats and everything.
Down bottom, Raven able to finish off that tier 1 tower. First tower kill of the game. Capitalizing on that space from the rotations up top as SVG is kind of lingering around. Does scout out Cuckoo, but all alone down here, needs to be a little bit careful. All the while up top seems VJG Storm. We're considering at least making a movement up there. We've got a smoke from Yawar and MSS. Also a good deep ward behind the tower, so feeling pretty confident about this rotation.
Yeah, MSS is looking for a few more kills here after just getting the double there. You know, you want to keep on stacking up. He's 2, 2, and 5. Wants to get in towards that Meteor Hammer. Already has the Bassi ready, so he's looking for some toggle plays. If he can be the big team fight element that they need.
I like Elephant better.
I actually like Elephant better too, personally. So.
Well, Moonlight Shadow used. Rezo finished off that tier 1 in the top. I was just pressuring the tier 2. VJG maybe looking for an opening in the mid, but Moonlight Shadow not going to yield much as TNC smoke up inside their jungle.
Will third time be the charm? I feel like we're just going back and forth. Well, one team's smoking up into the other, but guess what? The smoke up coming this time, and Moonlight Shadow will not be there. It was just used, so that was kind of what thwarted the last one. Maybe
double damage in that bottle for Puck, so definitely some kill options for Armel. They might bump into Resolution here.
This time.
Rezo just farming away. We've seen this story before. Thinking about the economy, ready to get caught as Armel hits him with a coil, follow up Fiend's Grip, and no rotations. It's a dead Luna.
Now that's how you smoke. You get some forward vision first, you spot the target you want, then you go and kill them. You don't run in blind, things work out a lot better. No one pops you from the high ground or anything like that. Game looks good.
They had a plan.
Plans are great. They tend to make Dota a lot easier.
Well, all grouped up, VJG keeping their jungle safe. These two supports kind of just following around Yawar right now.
Yeah.
For a pretty standard build on the Mirana, just a Maelstrom queued up next.
I think this is, I mean, they just got punished for this, sure, because the Luna obviously died, but this is kind of the game plan. It is Luna on one side, pushing waves, Underlord on the other, and these three are your kill threat. Anything, happens, run into trouble, pop a song, get out.
Yep.
Point Snake King already has his helm, and he's well on his way to the old Crimson Guard next. Very nice against TV draft.
You ever heard the 6 P's of preparation, Trent?
No.
Proper planning prevents piss-poor performance.
That's a lot of P's.
Mm-hmm. And it'll help you remember to plan ahead in the future, bud. I got your back. Anyway, back to farming we go. Relatively slow mid-game here, Trent. So we're, breaking it up.
Samh, he has not gone for the blink because he's going to allow his Sand King to get it.
Yeah, it just picks it up now.
A little bit of space to Tims, and so it'll be a Vanguard for the Axe. Similarly, probably looking for a Crimson Guard, right? It is very good for the dire side as well.
I mean, they need a front liner. They have a relatively squishy lineup, so I think in this game it makes sense for the Axe, especially since he hasn't really been ahead this game. Just tank up and make sure he doesn't get blown up if he does go in.
Yeah, and this is that whole concept you've heard the panel talking about in terms of like SamH. You look at that comparison between him and Snake King, you're looking at the numbers, and what happens? It's like, SamH's numbers are real low. He's got a lot less net worth, but way more kill participation, because he's the one who's involved in these actions in the early game, whereas, what have you guys seen Snake King do this game?
Defend towers.
Yeah, he defends towers, he hit waves, and he farms neutrals. He's looking to get a lot stacked up on himself, and that's why he's second in net worth on the Radiant side. Whereas Yawar is the one who's roaming around trying to create some sort of plays and building in towards this very early maelstrom that you guys have been seeing from plenty of teams here at the China Super.
Yeah, I like this Helm of the Dominator on Snake King. He's got a Centaur here to follow him around, so an extra AoE disable for the side of VJG Storm. But farming very nicely. Definitely one of the upsides of the Underlord when he gets this kind of space. He is so irritating when he just runs into that front line, has that atrophy aura on a lot of the enemies. Big effect in these team fights. Terrorblade still farming pretty well, though. A little bit behind the Luna, but Raven has had a lot of space. He picked up that Dragon Lance we talked about. Now a Yasha completed. He's continuing to farm up.
Yeah, it looks like a good read here from VJJ Storm. They kind of all group up down bottom and starting to move together. I think they know there's some aggressive movements coming in from the Dire side. Seeing this axe, sensing the RMLs nearby. They've got the ward vision RML right there. They know he's lurking in those trees, so trying to bait them into a fight while they're prepped here with the song. But Yuar's a little bit far away. He's being shown in the mid lane on that tower.
Dire structures are fortified.
Some decent pressure on as well. Forces out the Glyph and a rotation out of TNC. Blink Dagger also up on Puck, looking towards the Yule's Scepter next. I think VJJ Storm are still pretty happy with this. A surprisingly passive early mid-game here. A couple of rotations onto Resolution, but his farm has continued to recover. He's got the Mask of Madness going. Manta going to be coming up next. VJJ Storm have really good positioning. Like TNC just haven't had any openings to find kills.
The terrific trio is down bottom with the Underlord, though.
Yeah, sets it up with the Centaur. Actually does get the stun onto Tims. He burrow strikes away, but a lot of enemies inbound. Shadow Poisons, scouting it out. He blinks into the corner. TP home. Tims will make it. Nicely done.
Not going for the old Shadow Poison release there to try and cancel the blink.
A little surprised.
Ends up costing him in that moment, but Tims had also circled up top. I think he was assuming there was just the Underlord down bottom, and everyone else was playing up north, so wasn't really expecting there to be that much pressure in addition with follow spells, but survives. So it sort of works out, but at the same time, Snake King helps take down the tower with ease, and Cuckoo shows up with a Nightmare.
Yeah, but Tims is here. He shows up with an Epicenter, some pretty decent damage, but the Underlord is just too beefy. Tims gets turned on, and he'll be the first casualty. Tower does not get defended, and that Centaur sets it up again. The alley-oop for VJJ Storm as Cuckoo bites the bullet. And this Tier 2 now under siege. They force out yet another Glyph. Big victory for VJJ Storm.
They put themselves just over a 1K lead here.
And now Blink Dagger on Axe gets picked up. So even though they did lose 2 heroes in the bottom, that was a little bit of space for Sam H to finish up that last next big item.
Okay, so he'll just like completely skip out on the Vit Booster then right in towards the Blink. So finally something to work out with Armel here. Having an okay start, 1-0 and 5, but obviously he'd like to add a couple more kills to that total. Be more like you are there with a 3-0 and 5.
Slow and steady here, but with all that momentum, Luna really starting to pull ahead on the net worth. Resolution going to be pretty scary if this keeps up. Oh, mid lane now, stun from Tims. Tickles the Underlord a little bit. Says, hey there. But Sam H, he jumps in, and this one hurts a bit more. Defensive disruption into a Song of the Siren. VJJ able to break this fight up, and now here comes the turn. Meteor Hammer comes down, Axe gets obliterated, and the rest of TNC not able to do much.
Yeah, we saw that Warlock banned out in the first phase, and then after the Naga pick, as you would assume, TNC rightfully banned out the Disruptor and the Jakiro. So with the Shadow Demon, they're lacking that kind of common follow setup, but it's okay, because MSS has been given quite a bit of fire in this game. You know, you've seen him going up there with his illusions. He's got 4 points Riptide. Easy gold. And so right into the Meteor Hammer, using the perfect toggling of the Bassi to set it up. Guaranteed follow-up stun provided by a single hero.
Absolutely.
Team fight all in one package.
Yep.
This is why Naga is first pick.
Invasion into the enemy territory, clearing out their ancient stack. Yawar with an arrow from the high ground. Off the mark. But Tims, he might be in some trouble here. And Snare gets disjointed. Close one, but does indeed survive. Now Manta completed on the Terrorblade. Right now Luna is just straight up an item ahead of Raven. They have the same inventory, but a Mask of Madness, and now BKB going to be on the way for Rezo.
Yeah, kind of how it goes, right? You know, the farming mechanism definitely comes online quite a bit earlier for Rezo.
Your hammer mid. Okay. A little chip damage there from MSS, not bad.
Man.
Value Town.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
Up top, Tier 2 tower with that siege creep falls very quickly. No defense mounted by TNC.
And Raven just has illusions down bottom. He's still there. He's got his Manta. Not gonna matter all too much though. So this is again one of these problems where it comes to like the Radiant versus the Dire side. Now the Radiant have pushed up. They have taken away this farming space that Raven's been living in for the past like 15 minutes. Honestly, just been inside that Dire jungle. That's no longer his home. He's gonna be more focused around that Radiant jungle down bottom. Then eventually his allies will have to kind of like clear the Dire jungle before he can really go back there. Either that or he just kind of gets locked into this little area with like the Dire farming triangle.
TP out from Raven, he'll be able to live. It seems like VJG have done a really good job maintaining vision this game. Like their wards have just always been a step ahead of these team fights.
Yeah, definitely. I think TNC lacking right at the beginning kind of hurt them when they needed to come online with the puck and the axe. They just couldn't find any good fights because the vision wasn't really there. Then when they finally had it, they got like one good smoke in, and at that point they were out of smokes. So smoke time once again. Let's check their vision. Got one inside the Radiant jungle, and they haven't spawned anyone for a while. They forced the Underlord down bottom, so they're probably rightfully assuming they're in here, as they're actually all
siege
balled
creep
up
there. Cardi bumps into him.
Radiant's top tower
Deny
has
up
been
top
denied.
from Resolution. It seems that's the target that they want, but Rezo's headed back to friendly territory with everyone missing off the map. Seems VJG might be suspicious a smoke is inbound. They head back defensively. Mid lane, they smoke themselves with their other 4 heroes. And neither side bump into each other.
Yeah, Radiant are scanning just up on their own high ground near the Ancients just to make sure that it's clear. But they have a way of hitting the tier 2 in the mid lane. So they're well aware that TNC are up to something. See if we can find a miracle arrow here from Yuar. And that makes these fights very easy. It's Armel coming through.
They drop the ward, and Armel now going to be in a lot of trouble. The arrow does not quite connect as he comes out of the phase shift. And this time Armel will live. Definitely a tough hero to lock down in that situation, but noble effort as they just head mid. Again, using that siege creep, the Helm of the Dominator, adding so much to the push. Little Shadow Demon Luna action here. Illusions on illusions. Another tower down.
Dire's middle tower
The army going here,
has fallen.
VJG Storm. And Rezo back into the pit here. So some of our Luna drafts lately having some struggles with the first Roche. I feel like it keeps being taken away from them and then the game gets delayed and then Luna still manages to win with the second, or sometimes it just falls apart from there before Na'Vi found out. But this one looks pretty good for VJG Storm. Will it be another disastrous fight? I mean, they have a puck, they have an axe. These are heroes that want to fight in the pit, but they're up against Song.
All their ultimates, exactly, and it feels so safe when you have that Song of the Siren. Even Eclipse, ready to rock and roll. And
That's good timing on the orb. Not willing. He'd probably die, let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't think that's the value play for the puck. Could have been a big play, but I don't know if it's the play. Either way, Roche goes down to the Radiant, and Rezo will be the one to pick up the Aegis of the Immortal and secure that second life. Now Moonlight Shadow stalking down Cuckoo, but he's got a Sentry Ward down, drops the Nightmare. Knocks Siren with a mirror image, not going to be able to catch him. Okay. So furthering the lead, we're up to a 7K net worth lead now. It's been still a pretty quiet game, actually surpassing 8K even, as VJG Storm are maintaining a massive advantage. Luna about 50% ahead of the TB in terms of farm.
Yeah, just well executed so far inside VJG Storm. Kind of perfect rotations. They just keep throwing Snaking into these areas where it's like, yeah, there could be some heroes, but he's so hard to bring down. Like, EV is the only one who does damage in this lineup right now. And realistically, he doesn't even want to like fight, you know? He's busy. He's doing some stuff right now. He's not coming for like these engagements.
Feels like TNC don't have something to fight around right now. It's something we've gone back to a couple times, like your Spirit Breakers, your Beast Masters, and sometimes Axe can play that role, but not when he's behind. And they're having trouble just finding these fights.
I think that they have the heroes for sure. I mean, they have a puck, an axe, and a Sanking. I don't think you can axe for a hell of a lot more. This Sanking had a blink at like, I don't even know. It was like 12 minutes.
It's like the panel said, though. They have the initiation, but what's the follow-up to actually get the kills?
No, I would agree with that.
I think that's the problem.
Well, either way, Snaking.
Either way, they're going to lose another tower here.
Yeah,
that's a tier 2 down, not defended. I mean, TNC just playing patient, trying to split up, get this Terrorblade to critical mass so they can feel safe taking a fight. But for now, it's VJG running up to the high ground. Resolution feeling pretty safe, just starts chopping away at it. Tims hits him with a stun. There is a fresh BKB on the Luna. Of course, on top of that Aegis of the Immortal, there is a Glyph coming up in 5 seconds for TNC, but this is going to end up being a free tier 3 tower. Feels like they're not even defending the barracks right now. The Glyph gets used.
They're still Song. Arrow hits on Tims too.
Oh, this is brutal. Tim's is going to be in a lot of trouble. He might survive, but no surprise initiation. Resolution just focusing purely on structures. Dream Coil now. Armel jumps in, tries to finish off the Luna, but Song of the Siren from MSS on point, drops the Meteor Hammer, and Armel gets destroyed. No buyback on him. Bane goes down next. He'll buy back, but Axe locked in place. A complete non-factor in this fight, but it's Tim's with a big epicenter. Connects on the whole squad. Gets SVG, gets Yawar as well as the Aegis. Now the Dark Rift to get the hell out of Dodge, and VJG Storm make it back. They did get the objectives they came for. They force a buyback, but they do end up losing 2 at the end.
Yeah, still a massive victory for VJG Storm. Of course, getting that melee racks really going to hurt TB. He's just trying to like get through this early part of the game, keep your whole high ground, and then that's when you're going to be pushing out. You're going to be trying to like keep that net worth actually rolling into your favor heading later. But they've just lost a big chunk of all future income now. That melee racks down. So,
and this one, of course, opens up shrines, so extra gold for the way VJG Storm and more map control. And think of all the ways to use your Aegis. They're pretty darn happy with that. Rezo didn't even have to BKB there. He still has the 10-second BKB and now a Lincoln Sphere they're going to have.
Yeah, and you can see here, I mean, they're up on the high ground and they just can't address this. And you are with the nice arrow for sure. Kind of gets pinged out. He just goes for it. MSS says, hey, yo, he's over here. And it just works. A little surprising. So Tim's is, of course, forced back, and then that means he can't initiate, so now it's on the Axe, and then he tries going for a play, but the Song is there.
The fact that Tim's lives there is absolutely huge, because he doesn't have buyback, and after this Song comes, he gets a really big epicenter.
Yeah, and in the end, it was kind of that, Pyrrhic victory on his past couple kills.
Yeah.
Wasn't all too impactful. So Shrine does go down now, as you can see. The rotations of the Radiant side pushing their way through that dire jungle, and as you said, they still have a 10-second BKB. They're not waiting for second Aegis before they just go high ground again. They didn't even get a real fight last time.
Yeah, Terrorblade, though, does have his BKB, and that's one thing he picked up off the backside of that last engagement. Beautiful initiation from Snake King to prevent Tim's from getting any kind of surprise jump. Remember, Tim's just gets his epicenter now. Okay, so it has cooled down, but Armel, again, taking a lot of damage. He is able to survive this time, but very low. The Tier 3 tower falls, and again, it just feels like TNC are struggling to defend. Sam H has the Blink Dagger, but gets caught again by Snake King. This is just a free lane of barracks. Rezo doesn't have to BKB, and they just walk away with another lane under their belt.
That was actually even a little bit risky. Like, I know you're not waiting for Aegis, but they didn't even wait for Song. Like, that wasn't quite back up yet,
Yeah,
and now that means if they want to go mid, Song's going to be there too.
They have everything. It's insane that they're able to just right-click buildings, finish off the barracks without using anything. All they need is Snake King dropping pits, dropping firestorms. Where has Sam H been this game? Trent, I'm turning on the flamethrower because he has been a complete non-factor in all of these
What
fights.
was his lane, though? He didn't have a dual lane. He didn't have the standard Axe +1, the Skywrath Mage. This, like,
so what you're telling me there, when they're trying to defend the barracks, he should be getting hit by the Underlord instead of actually catching an initiation. Speaking of death, Armel does get caught as he's trying to farm the jungle.
Oh, he didn't have a game. He didn't get to play Axe. He just had a guy who was given a terrible lane, who had late items, who...
The last 2 high ground defenses, he had a Blink and a Vanguard. He did nothing. He just got caught both times.
Well, what are you supposed to do?
Use your Blink and use a Berserker's Call? Do anything? Well, he died anyway. He didn't even use his spell. I mean, I'm not saying it would have changed the game, but at least you're doing something. Buyback now on the puck. 18k net worth lead, final lane of barracks. This is it. TNC have to mount this defense. This is not a team that can easily hold Megas at 30 minutes and then turn this game around. Tim's on the backside. Oh my, the epicenter. He gets caught by the ensnare, and it's a complete non-factor. Sam H does jump in this time, sets up for a coil. Raven with the BKB. Song of the Siren, though, it breaks up this fight. Does not save SVG, but it isolates the Terrorblade, and Raven ends up going down. Now the BKB from Rezo gets deployed. Cuckoo dies, stunned from Tim's on 3, but the GG gets called, and just like that, VJG Storm take game 1 in 31 minutes.
Well, that looks like playoff bracket TNC.